Hello, my name is Roxi and I work at Lighthouse, Louisiana. I am deafblind and I'm standing on the corner of Loyola and Tulane, about to head to Tulane Hospital for an appointment. I would like to demonstrate how challenging and sometimes dangerous it can be for a deafblind person to cross an intersection. Many blind and deafblind people throughout the country rely upon accessible pedestrian signals. They have both auditory and tactile components. Because Louisiana is the highest per capita rate of deafblindness in the country, it is important that we have both auditory and tactile components when we adopt accessible pedestrian signals. These signals give feedback to people that are blind or deafblind when it is safe to cross and for how long the crossing will last. People that use a long white mobility cane to cross roads can sometimes be challenged to stay straight in the street. And these accessible pedestrian signals give people that are blind that extra information and help so that they can safely cross in a straight line. Because I use a dog, this is not a problem for me. However, it is a problem for many others. I am going to demonstrate crossing Tulane. However, because I cannot cross the street without assistance, my sign language interpreter will be behind me and will tell me through touch signals when it is safe to cross. Let's go. Earlier in the last video, you saw me cross at Tulane and Loyola, and you saw me make an error and need to be corrected back on the proper course by my interpreter. This is why I don't cross this intersection alone, because of things like the pork chop that are set up to complicate an intersection for a pedestrian and make it very hard for me to understand both the configuration of the intersection and where I am and when it's safe to cross. And accessible pedestrian signals in this intersection, it would be much safer for people who are blind and deafblind, because we would have warnings of how much time we had to cross the road, but also indicators of where the crossing islands and the pork chop were located. I've traveled throughout the country, and in cities like Boston and Minneapolis, there are accessible pedestrian signals with both audio and tactile markings. When I travel using these signals, it is a much more pleasant experience and allows me to be much more confident.